being Laura's cousin. One might also say I was her first friend, as I was born but a few days before her. Laura and I literally grew up together. We played together. We both attended St. Mary's Catholic School, Mark Twain, and of course we were both Edison Bears. I cannot recall a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, or a New Year growing up without her. There was never a holiday we'd not spend at either her parents' home or mine. Laura and I had a lot of things in common until we became teenagers. My cousin Laura was very disciplined, focused, and she was very much by the book. I, on the other hand, have always struggled with those qualities. I recall once in high school, I decided to cut class the next day, and I knew that my cousin Laura worked in the attendance office. You already know where I'm going with this story, right? So I approached her after school, and I let her know. I said, "Hey, Laura, I'm going to cut class tomorrow, so heads up." You know, Laura just looked at me, and she listened, but she didn't say anything. So I mistook that for tacit approval. That was a mistake. Imagine my surprise when I got home the next day and my mother was waiting for me. She looked at me and said, "Where were you? You didn't go to school today." And before I could lie to my mom, she said, "Your cousin Laura called from the attendance office and said you weren't there." So obviously I'd been caught. The next day I saw Laura in the hall, and I walked up to her and I asked her, I said, "Hey, what happened?" I said, "You called my mom." And her reply was typical Laura. It's actually funny because she was only 16. She looked at me and she said, "I'm sorry, Al, I had a job to do." That, in a nutshell, my cousin Laura. I was upset for a couple of days, but I knew she was right. You see, my cousin Laura was a leader. And as all of you, or most of you should know, a leader does the right things. And obviously Laura did the right thing. I've tried to come up with a word that would encapsulate Laura. And it took me a couple of weeks of just going back and forth, and I finally came up with one word, and it was service. Laura was a nurse. She committed her life to serving others and helping them. After becoming a nurse, she and her husband Edward left to work with the Zuni Indians, serving the healthcare needs of the tribe. After completing the work with the Zunis, both Edward and Laura joined the United States Air Force. This time, of course, they were serving our country. Laura spent her entire life in service to others. Laura was deployed to Iraq during the height of the war, and she worked in a combat hospital ensuring that our heroes were treated well and cared for so that they could come home to their families. Laura reached the rank of full colonel before retiring. My cousin Laura was a hero to me. I loved her. I admired her. I will miss her. A part of me is left, but the memories I have and the way that she graced my life will stay with me forever. To my extended family, the Valencias and the Alvarados, to my cousin Edward, her husband, to her son Aaron, and to her stepson Edward Jr. I cannot imagine the pain that y'all are going through right now. And I know, especially given that Christmas is but a few days away. I've taken the liberty of bringing a poem that I'm going to attempt to read. Laura was a friend, a cousin, a wife, a mother, and quite simply a remarkable woman. I see the countless Christmas trees below, around the world below, with tiny lights like heaven stars reflecting on the snow. The sight is so spectacular. Please wipe away that tear, for I am spending Christmas with Jesus Christ this year. I hear the many Christmas songs that people hold so dear, but the sounds of music can't compare with the Christmas choir up here. For I have no words to tell you the joy their voices bring, for it is beyond description to hear the angels sing. I can't tell you the splendor or the peace here in this place. Can you imagine Christmas with our Savior face to face? I'll ask him to light your spirit as I tell him of your love. So then pray for one another as I lift your eyes above. Please let your hearts be joyful and let your spirit sing. For I'm spending Christmas in heaven and I'm walking with the King.